यूजुअली लोग की गल करते हैं नॉट लाइक अगली मीटिंग कदों होनी है ये कहके गल करते हैं अगली हाइक कदों होनी है ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਨੈਰੇਟਿਵ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੋਕੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗ ਪੈਣ ਕਿ ਅਗਲਾ ਰੇਟ ਕੱਟ ਕਦੋਂ ਆਉਣਾ ਇਹ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ
ਇਹ ਇਵੈਂਚੁਅਲੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੀ ਪੈਣਾ ਜੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਬੈਂਕਰਪਟ ਹੋਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਏ ਜਸਟ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਆਫ देयर mortgages and this kind of disaster. Hello everyone, thank you for joining us in podcast by Waris. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Chirag Nagpal from Future Assets Group. He's a very renowned realtor in our Fraser Valley. Been in the industry from last few years and was working very phenomenally. And we worked together from last 3.5 years. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Having this discussion. So, Chirag, give us a background of yours. What do you do? How long you were in this industry from? Key background. Just give us some intro.
Hello everyone, Chirag Nagpal from Future Assets Group. I've been working in this industry, real estate industry, from past 5 years, serving Fraser Valley and interior throughout, help our clients in detached, condo, townhouses. I personally love doing startup properties, and my partner Rupinder Singh, he is a specialist in detached properties.
Perfect. What do you see nowadays? A key trend chal raha hai aajkal. What are the the clients किस side to focus ज़्यादा नहीं? Multiple types of properties, right? But what do you see कि ज़्यादा लोग किस पास से they are more aligned towards?
Majority, I mean, we see it's more of a first-time home buyer market, right? People their capacity is majority limited now to people who are able to qualify for those now 850, 900 ranges. Their capacity has now been limited to only to those 600 or high 500 range. So that pool has changed now. I mean, people can't qualify. Major thing you see these days is more of the qualifying thing. I mean that you can tell better, I guess, on the stress test part, right? I mean, where it used to be, I guess, somewhere around 5.25.
Yeah.
And now it has, I guess, gone up till to qualify. You need probably 8.5 to 9.2. So that's where even people who wants to buy and can afford, it's stress test which is holding the people behind. Like, I mean, buy nahi kar sakte, they can't buy even if they can afford monthly payments or their job is secure. Everything is good. It's just they can't qualify.
Yeah. We actually used to laugh. ਜਦੋਂ ਨਾ qualifying rate was 5.25. Like let's say 1.5-2% rate ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ, right? COVID ਦੇ ਦੌਰਾਨ and qualify ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 5.25 ਤੇ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ. Used to laugh ਕਿ why? ਕੀ ਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਇਹਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਕਿ ਇੰਨਾ ਉੱਤੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਨਾ ਰੇਟ ਚੱਲ ਜੂਗਾ. ਹੁਣ ਐਕਚੁਅਲ ਦੇ ਰੇਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਰੇਟ ਨੇ already above that benchmark. They qualify karna, plus 2%. It's very hard for nowadays for those first time home buyers specifically.
But like ਵਧੀਆ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ I mean ਕਿ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਸੀਗੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਤੇ ਮੇਬੀ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦੇ ਤੇ I guess if I'd say in a word ਤੱਪੜ ਹੋ ਜਾਣੇ ਸੀਗੇ.
No, true.
ਜੇ this test wasn't there, I guess this market wouldn't have survived.
True.
But it was good. People qualified at that rate, so they know their power, like I mean कितने तक वो लेके जा सकते थे अपने खर्चे में. So I guess बहुत बढ़िया चीज सी कि stress test सीखा. I guess that's what saved the market.
बिल्कुल. Stress test ने कल client नहीं save की, कल industry ने save की, even banks save की थे. ये stress test ना होता या चलो stress test नहीं overall भी ये इतनी secured lending ना होती, right? Banks कदों bankrupt हो जाने से पता भी नहीं लगना. Like it happened in US. Subprime ਜਦੋਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ. US lenders ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੀਗੇ they were lending even over purchase price. So 5% lend ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ. Purchase price ਤਾਂ cover ਹੋਊਗਾ plus furniture ਦੇ ਵੀ ਪੈਸੇ ਲੈ ਜਾਓ. And what happened? Market ਥੋੜੀ ਹਿੱਲੀ and people used to default on their payments and it ended up bankrupting many banks. ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ they initiated this stress test ਇੰਟਰੋਡਿਊਸ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਸਟ ਟੂ ਸੇਫਗਾਰਡ ਦੀ ਬੈਂਕਸ।
ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਣਾ all those mortgages, like people took back in 2020 and those 2021, their time is coming up for renewals.
Yeah.
What would happen for those people, who are having their mortgages at 2%, 2.5%? The renewals are coming up.
Yeah.
So
it could actually lead to panic selling.
Panic selling.
Yeah, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਦੇਖੋ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਦੇ ਦੌਰਾਨ 2020 2021 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਮਾਰਗੇजेस ਹੋਈਆਂ ਨਾਓ ਦੇ ਆਰ ਕਮਿੰਗ ਅਪ ਟੂ ਰੀਨਿਊਅਲ। ਮੈਜੋਰਿਟੀ ਬੰਦੇ 5 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਟਰਮ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ, ਇਟਸ ਕਮਿੰਗ ਅਪ ਟੂ ਰੀਨਿਊਅਲ 2025 2026 ਜਾਂ 24 ਵੀ ਜੇ ਛੋਟੀ ਟਰਮ ਲਈ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ। ਤੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੇਮੈਂਟ ਵਾਸ 32 3300 ਮੈਕਸ 35 ਫॉर ਅ $1 million mortgage ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋ ਕੇ 6500 ਹੋ ਜਾਣੀ ਹੈ, ਰਾਈਟ? So you could see a difference ਕਿੰਨਾ ਹੈ। But on the other side, ਜਿਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ income wise ਦੇਖੋ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ layman ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ work 9 to 5, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ income double ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਈ, expenses double ਹੋ ਗਏ, mortgage payments double ਹੋ ਜਾਣੀਆਂ। So ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਤਾਂ they were surviving because of there's ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ payment set ਹੋਈ ਸੀ ਉਹਦੇ base ਤੇ they were surviving. But now when it's gonna be increasing, not compared to what their income got incremented, it's gonna be disaster. ਉਸ ਵਕਤ ਜਦੋਂ panic selling ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ, then it could even lead to more downfall in prices.
Oh, do you think so?
Well, it's not what I personally think, but ਜੇ number wise ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋ, that is big possibility.
Do you think ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੁਣ narrative ਚੱਲਦਾ ਪਿਆ, right? We always talk about usually ਲੋਕੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ not like ਅਗਲੀ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਕਦੋਂ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਅਗਲੀ ਹਾਈਕ ਕਦੋਂ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਨੈਰੇਟਿਵ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੋਕੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗ ਪੈਣ ਕਿ ਅਗਲਾ ਰੇਟ ਕੱਟ ਕਦੋਂ ਆਉਣਾ ਹੈ? ਇਹ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ
ਇਵੈਂਚੁਅਲੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੀ ਪੈਣਾ, ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੂੰ ਰੇਟ ਨੀਚੇ ਲਿਆਣਾ ਹੀ ਪੈਣੇ ਆ। ਐਸ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਸਪੀਕਿੰਗ 2025 2026 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦੋਂ ਰੀਨਿਊਅਲਸ ਆਣੇ ਆ, ਬਲਕ ਰੀਨਿਊਅਲਸ ਹੋਣੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਉਸ ਵਕਤ ਇਟ ਕੁਡ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਦੀ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਬਿਗ ਪਿਕਚਰ ਬਿਗ ਵੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਉਸ ਵਕਤ ਜੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਰੇਟ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਚ ਨਾ ਲਿਆਂਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਉਸ ਵਕਤ, then it could lead to a big downfall in real estate economy and real estate industry itself. And Canada ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਬਹੁਤੀਆਂ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀਜ਼ ਵੈਸੇ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ। Real estate is one of the major industry ਜਿਹਦੇ ਤੇ Canadian government or Canadian economy is surviving, right? ਜੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਹਿੱਟ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ, right? ਜੇ ਬੰਦੇ bankrupt ਹੋਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਏ just because of their mortgages, it's gonna be disaster.
So that's where they have to, I guess, think about probably, I guess, in 2024. I personally think the narrative could change, where people will be talking about now ਅਗਲੀ ਰੇਟ ਕੱਟ ਕਦੋਂ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ।
ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਡੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ what do you see ਕਿ ਮੇਜਰਲੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਲਾਇੰਟਲ ਆ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕਲਾਇੰਟਲ ਜਾਂ ਓਵਰਆਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਲੈਂਡ ਵਾਲੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਰਟੀਜ਼, where they more aligned to condos, townhomes, single family homes, ਘਰ with basements, ਘਰ without basements, ਕੀ ਲੋਕੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕੀ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, what they want to buy to live?
ਉਹ ਨੈਰੇਟਿਵ ਤਾਂ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ, ਲਾਈਕ ਕਿ ਵੱਡਾ ਘਰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਡਿਟੈਚ ਜਾਂ ਉਹ, I mean people are now like they have started slowly to realize, I guess, it's more about the space. I mean what they need, and if the space is fulfilled in condos, they're okay with the condo, they don't want to go to a townhouse. And majority, the generation which we are seeing now, like this your late 20s and early 30s, they prefer condo life. Yeah, I mean if you go to Surrey downtown side, right, I mean you have everything over there. They don't want to take the stress of snow removals or garbage pickups. They don't want to take all the stress. They're busy. They want everything at their doorstep. And King George Hub is a prime example. Like I see quite a few buyers who are more inclined towards townhouses. I mean, no, they don't want to. They're okay. I mean, they save money, and it's not like they can't afford townhouses. They can even afford those big houses as well, but they don't want to go there. They just want to stick to their busy life. They want to have everything at their footstep, which those this new condo lifestyle is providing.
Yeah,
that's what they want to keep it.
एक ease भी है,
Yes.
right? They don't need to, Sunday वाले दिन ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ, land more like ਕੋਈ ਘਾਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੱਟਣੇ ਪੈਂਦੇ.
Absolutely.
They don't need to look after their gardens and yards. Common space, strata covers it, and
Yes.
just need to pay a minimal fee.
And majority, I mean, this is also something, a trend I have seen personally. My majority of the buyers are more in like those now people who are active are like people in IT sectors. People who
Sure.
have stable jobs, they are buying. And one thing I want to tell the viewers as well over here, that 90% of, I'd say maybe more, 90% of the condos inside downtown are occupied by tenants. So what this implies is people who can buy right now, they're not buying. And I don't know why though. People who have job, people who have decent income, job security, they're not buying. They have down payment and everything, they're still not buying. All they want to do is time the market. I mean, दो तरीके की market होती है. Either it's a buyer's market, either it's a seller's market, but it's always a good time to buy. And some people will still not buy just because they want to touch the bottom.
Yeah.
They want to note that bottom. And I wish somebody had that crystal ball that can tell them, okay, yeah, this is the time to buy. I mean, so especially for those people, if you have the job security, you can afford the monthly payment, you have the down payment, you should not wait at all. You should buy. Otherwise, you're probably, it's a gamble. You're probably betting, like, you're gambling. And either you're gonna buy a bad house that you don't like, or you're gonna buy it expensive. एक भाई एक ये वाली चीज थोड़ा सा बताओ viewers को, जो चलो पहले तो समझ आती थी like कि A lender B lender को लेके, आज वाली मार्केट में तो I guess जो mortgage market है प्लीज में तो कोई ज्यादा फर्क नहीं है I guess A lender और B lender में.
Yeah. फर्क थोड़ा बहुत है. It's not a big difference. For example, अभी क्या होता सी ਜਦੋਂ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦਾ ਰੇਟ 1.5-2% ਸੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਸ ਵਕਤ B lender was around 3.5 almost, not double but 1.5% ਦਾ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ. That difference is still there. But ਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ for example let's say we go for a bigger term with B lender, it is as good as the shorter term with A lender. For example, 3 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ term ਦਾ any A lender is around 6.5 to, for example, under 7% for a rental property or something. If you go 3-year term with B lender as well, it's a long term compared to the B lending. B lending ਲੋਕੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ 1 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ 2 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ. ਜੇ B lending ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ you're getting into 3-year term, it is as good as 3-year in the bank.
Okay.
But when it comes to 1-year term, which majority of the people takes when it comes to the B lending, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ difference ਹੈਗਾ compared to the A side. ਉਹ difference ਅੱਗੇ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. It's you could get anything B side ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ for 1 year around 7.25%, which is very good. ਜਿਹੜਾ difference is getting smaller ਕਿਉਂਕਿ rate already ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, right? And when it comes to the qualifying, B side ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, B lending ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, you could easily qualify compared to the A lending. Their ratios are, they're flexible on ratios. कोई self-employed है, कोई sole proprietor है, they look at the income in a different way. ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ qualification becomes easier compared to the A lending, right? ਹੁਣ ਕੋਈ, for example, self-employed, I was working on a deal this morning, realtor है, and ਉਹਦੀ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ A lending ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਸੇ ਬੈਂਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖੀਏ, after showing expenses and all, net income was very minimal. But B side ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, because his revenue was good, his gross income was good, expenses were, ਉਹਨੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਿੰਨੇ A side ਨੇ big bank ਨੇ consider ਕਰਨੇ ਸੀਗੇ. So they are more flexible towards looking at the right picture. A major difference, B lending works on common sense story.
Okay.
If story makes sense, they'll lend you.
B lenders.
A lender, they are more towards the documentation. So for example, a lender, we go to any big bank, they need to see the net income of your business or the net income of your personal side if you're sole proprietor, right? ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ gross ਨੂੰ they don't care. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭਾਵੇਂ $500,000 ਬਣਾਦੇ ਹੋ, they don't care. They need to see what is your net income, okay, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟੈਕਸ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ, right? That is the income they consider. Whereas when it comes to the B side, they look at the gross income, they look at the expenses you make every month on a repetitive manner. Unu they calculate and they bring up with a figure that they use as an income, which is much higher than your net income, which you're showing on taxes. Okay, so sole proprietor, self-employed, they work on the numbers to save from taxes.
Does stress test work as well over there?
Kai lender hai which they don't do the stress test. Kai lender hai they use the stress test. B side they which, but it depends. Again, their ratios is the major factor that they play on, right? For example, general criteria for any A lender is to go ratios of 39 to 44 GDS TDSR in a technical language. Yeah, if you guys are wondering what GDSR and TDSR is, these are the ratios compared to your income, what the banks look at, jo ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ qualify ਕਰਨਾ, right? Gross debt services ratio and total debt service ratio, GDSR, TDSR, right? They look at your income and they want to see in a percent of your income should be going towards your financial expenses every month, right? So ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ they look at and they want to see, for example, GDSR, they want to see 39% of your income should be going towards your monthly mortgage payment, the property tax, the strata payment, and the heat of that specific property. That is GDSR. So 39% is for A lenders. Max they go is 44. Some lenders even on exception base go even higher. But same thing with B lender, they could go up to 60%. Right? Same thing with TDSR. TDSR is also including the same numbers for GDSR plus some extra financial liabilities you have on a monthly basis. They add it on and they come up with that ratio. They need to see that ratio in a specific number as well, in a specific percentage, whereas in the B side, they are more flexible to go even for the higher amount. So, वो ratios बहुत matter करती हैं to see the affordability or the qualification of the mortgage, right? वो A ते B दे विच बहुत फर्क है, right? B lenders are more, monoline lenders भी उन्होंने कह देते हैं. Monoline lenders are basically the lenders जिन्हां दे कोई physical branches नहीं है. For example, CIBC है. CIBC, you could walk into the bank, you could do the banking transactions, you could do lending transactions, you could have credit card, line of credit, multiple things. Monoline lenders are basically जेड़े के सिर्फ lending is their primary operational thing, right? So, and they don't have different branches you could go to, right? You have any issue with anything, you need a support, you can call them, right?
The B lenders,
right? When it comes to the A lenders, they are more, you could have the support system over the phone or physically as well. You could walk into the branch. B lending the which that is not the case, and they are more focused towards lending only.
Okay, I guess this would be good for the viewers to know, especially people who are newcomer here. I mean, सारे ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦੇਦਾ ਹੈਗੇ ਵਾਲੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਿ please ਆਪਣਾ ਕਰ ਲੈਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਗੱਡੀ ਨਾ ਲਓ. I mean, don't take a huge debt like buying a car. But I mean, but they don't get to know why though. If you can थोड़ा होते, if you can tell us why banks see car as a big although it's a liability, but sometimes they see it as a big liability and it's a फिर बड़ी अड़चन आती है लोगों के. Why is that though? It's a basic need, right? I mean, why?
and I, you know, totally agreeing with you on this. It's a basic necessity, especially in a country like Canada, right? Or in a lower mainland where commute could be longer if you take public transit and, you know, public buses and all. But hunda ki hai, I tell you, let's say you get a car loan for example $20,000 ਦੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਡੀ ਲਈ, ਉਹਦੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ 10,000 ਡਾਊਨ ਪਾਤਾ, 10,000 ਦਾ you get the loan. ਉਹ 10,000 ਦੇ ਲੋਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕਿਸ਼ਤ ਬਣ ਗਈ monthly $500 for example, right? ਉਹ $500 would ruin your ability to get a mortgage for about 100,000.
So it's basically not the loan amount, it's the monthly expenditure they see.
It's the monthly liability that they look at. ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਇੱਕ ਥੋੜੇ ਦਿਨ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ client ਆਇਆ, they had about, I think ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ balance was about $2,000 ਦਾ ਕਾਰ ਲੋਨ ਦਾ balance ਸੀ। ਬਟ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਕਾਰ ਲੋਨ ਦਾ ਕਾਫੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੋਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ, monthly payment was around $600. ਹੁਣ ਜੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ 3-3.5 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਿਸ਼ਤਾਂ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਪੈਂਡਿੰਗ ਨੇ on the full balance is only about 2,000. ਬਟ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੈਲਕੂਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖੀਏ then 600 per month gets into the picture of qualifying. The buying power about 100,000 was getting decreased. So we suggested them to pay off 2,000. ਉਹ $2,000 ਦਾ balance pay ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ they could get 100,000 more in the mortgage side. So it's basically a financial liability which you need to pay every month. Banks or financial institutions or the regulators or the lenders, they look at your financial liabilities on a monthly basis or annual basis, but ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ fixed ਖਰਚੇ ਨੇ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਸ ਦੇ ਬੇਸ ਤੇ qualify you. Now ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਪੱਕਾ ਖਰਚਾ ਸੈੱਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ। ਹੁਣ ਜਦੋਂ qualify ਕਰਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ, then they you know bring this thing into the picture and ਤੁਹਾਡੀ capability ਜਾਂ capacity decreases. क्योंकि ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਸਾਈਡ monthly liability add ਹੋ ਗਈ. So it affects your, you know, ability to get the loan or the house loan or the mortgage we call it. So जब कभी भी कार लोन लेनी है और ये कार लेनी है, try to, you know, I personally don't suggest कि ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੀ cash ਕਾਰ buy ਕਰੋ. You know, leverage it, get a car loan, but car loan ਉਨਾ ਕੁ ਲਓ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ monthly ਉਹਦੇ expenses ਜਾਂ monthly payment ਕੋਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵੱਡੀ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ, right? Minimal payment ਹੋਵੇ that affects the mortgage capacity but not in a bigger picture.
वारिस, ਇੱਥੇ ਇਹ क्वेश्चन ਆ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ suppose ਮੇਰੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਇਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ, I need car, you know, more than a home. So ਉਹ ਕੁਝ ਟਾਈਮ ਪੀਰੀਅਡ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਕਰੰਟਲੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਾਰ ਬਾਏ ਕਰਨਾ, ਤੇ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਪੀਰੀਅਡ ਅੱਗੇ ਰਹੇਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਗਰ ਮੈਂ ਕਰ ਲਵਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੇ ਬੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਸਕੋਰ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੈਸਟ ਰਹੇਗਾ।
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਾਰ ਲੋਨ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਕਾਰ ਲੋਨ ਦੀ ਪੇਮੈਂਟ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਦੇਰ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਇਟਸ ਗੋਣਾ ਅਫੈਕਟ ਦੀ ਮੌਰਗੇਜ ਕੈਪੈਸਿਟੀ। ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਕ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ $2,000 ਦਾ ਹੀ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਹੈਗਾ, that was going on from last 4.5 years, almost 5 years. 5 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਲੋਨ ਸੀ, 2-3 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਦੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਿਸ਼ਤਾਂ ਰਹਿ ਗਈਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ। Still it was affecting in the same way ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਦਾ ਕੱਲ ਹੀ ਲੋਨ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ with same payment. They look at the payment, they don't need to see kada car loan chal raha, they don't want to see ke balance kinna hoda. The only thing they want to see or they see is the monthly payment kinni hai, what is the fixed monthly liability the client needs to pay against that loan. So that is what affects the capacity or change in the approval amount.
So there's one this thing, like, you know, now I guess people have started to more think about what are you recommending your clients on fixed and variable rates now? Like, I mean, how are you guiding them? Like, you know, basically, although I mean, as a realtor, whenever they ask me, I mean, I always tell them it's your risk appetite. How do you want to take about your future and आपके लिए 2-3 साल कैसे लग रही है आजकल, बट लेकिन जनरली लाइक एक बोरोवर क्या चूज कर रहा है, वेरिएबल या फिक्स रेट्स?
ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਾ option to pick against variable or fixed in a client the overall scenario ਤੇ depend ਬਹੁਤ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ. Every client ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ fixed ਵੀ better ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ, variable ਵੀ better ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ. It depends on client scenario.
Okay.
I give you an example. I did mortgages ਜਦੋਂ COVID ਦਾ time ਆਇਆ, when even the ਜਿਹੜਾ rates, the lowest I could get for my client was 0.99%, right? At that time.
Basically free.
Sort of free money, right? ਉਸ ਵਕਤ 0.99 ਤੇ I could have locked them in for the fixed mortgage, right? But kuch clients li I had to do variable, or even I suggested them to go variable because the scenario was better if it was kept variable.
Okay.
I give for example, any builder or any person who's buying, renovating it or flipping, right? Secondly, if a person who's buying now he's get value cut, I'll add on some renovations into this project and it will bring the value up. I'll refinance it, take out some money, leverage that property, take out some equity and invest in the second property. Now in that case, if he needs to refinance, he'll be liable for the prepayment penalty, right? In that scenario, if it's variable, the penalty is very cheaper compared to the fixed. Same thing, if he is flipping, penalty ਜਿਹੜੀ liable ਹੋਊਗਾ would be very minimal. Whereas your fixed ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਸ ਵਕਤ 0.99 ਤੇ for example 1% ਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ fixed lock ਕੀਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ, ਅੱਜ ਜਦੋਂ rate 6.5% ਹੈ, ਜੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ mortgage break ਕਰਨੀ ਪੈਂਦੀ, ਉਹਦੀ prepayments would have been what, 70,000-80,000.
Wow.
Just for 700,000-800,000 loan. I'm just giving you example wise, right? मैं कल ही किसी दी calculation कर रहा था and I got to the point कि जो property बेच के लेते हैं ते prepayment penalty की होएगी, and just because of that prepayment penalty they had to switch the idea from selling that place to retaining it, क्योंकि जे वो बेचते हैं ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਫਿਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪੈਨਲਟੀ ਪੈ ਜਾਏਗਾ, right? So it all depends. ਕੋਈ ਤਾਂ clear answer ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ.
Okay.
What we do when we suggest our clients ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ variable ਲਓ ਜਾਂ fix ਲਓ, it all depends after working on their scenario and to figure out ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ better ਕੀ ਹੈ.
Okay.
Right? Whatever is in their favor, we suggest them. So same thing to your question, ID rates key better hai, it depends on the client scenario. In this market, what are the things one should look at a person when they are picking up a realtor or choosing a realtor? Key cheezan dekhniyan chahidiyan realtor de vich. Any buyer, doesn't matter first time hai, investor hai, multiple property own karta banda hai, jadon when they are picking up a realtor, what they should look at it.
I mean, I always say first thing should be are they full-time agent, right? Just similarly, like you don't want to work with any other professional who is a part-timer. Same thing it should be in real estate as well, that your realtor should be full-time. He is available for you like whenever you need him, not the other way around. Like when he is available, then he can take care of your needs. One is that. Second comes down to his communication. Like, is he able to communicate with you properly? Because majority of the time, like I see the buyers get the anxiety when they're not properly communicated from the very beginning till the end. So communication, those like being a local expert or like those experience, I'd say it's going to be at the 4th or 5th number. Then it comes down to trust. I mean, if you are able to trust who you're working with, if you're not able to trust them, then I guess you should like drop that agent right over there and interview somebody else. And probably then it comes down to your local expertise. I mean, which market you're looking in. He should know on the fingertips about the market, like so. And also, making sure that we are ethical with our clients. We always make sure that their interest is protected first, then anybody else. I mean, first has to be their interest. Making sure they're well protected in their transaction, and also, connecting them with the professionals like home inspectors, mortgage broker, like we work with S3 Mortgages. I've been working with them from last 3 years or so. I've done almost helped 80 to 90 families past 3 years. So these were some of the reasons why our clients work with us, and we were able to help so many families this year and past few years as well.
That's great. What about mortgages?
Obviously, S3 Mortgages, Waris Singh, working with them.
Yeah, we've been working from I think last 3.5 years. 2020 अपनी पहली deal हुई
Yeah.
थी, right? Almost मेरा ख्याल है 70 deals ਅਸੀਂ last 3 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਚ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਇਕੱਠੀਆਂ ਤੇ been a great team together.
Yes.
Yes. So all the points he mentioned, being ethical with the clients, at the top level when it comes to the communication, they are always there. When it comes to the client's interest at the most, I'll give you an example. Recently, what happened? I think we did an interview with the client. Client na like first meeting sigi, and there was an option that we could sell clients place and get them a new place, right? ਜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ as a realtor, he could have made 2 deals. He could have done 2 deals, but just to keep clients' interest at topmost, after communicating with the clients, we got to know कि ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ favor ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਘਰ ਵੇਚਣਾ, right? It was better off if they could refinance that, take out the equity and buy the second property. ਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ, what he could do is he could have sold the property and ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੂਸਰੀ property ਦਵਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ. He would have done 2 deals from one client, right? But ਜਦੋਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਿ client ਦੇ perspective ਦੇ ਨਾਲ client ਦੇ favor ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ, he was very ethical at that point and he suggested and ਬਹੁਤ high words ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ he said ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਘਰ ਵੇਚਣ ਦਾ, get it refinanced and get the second place.
Yes.
So that was very appreciated by the client. So I can vouch on those terms or those words what he mentioned, and I would always recommend clients to him as well.
Thank you. Absolutely, हमारे साथ भी we always feel safe when we bring our clients to the S3 office, that it's just not about the mortgage. वो पूरा स्टार्टिंग से लेकर आखिरी तक उनके फाइनेंशियल को समझना और उनको फिर वो गाइडेंस देनी है. पिछले 3 साल से जो हमारे क्लाइंट्स का एक्सपीरियंस रहा है S3 के साथ, बहुत ही फिनोमिनल कि क्लाइंट्स एक डिफरेंट माइंडसेट से एंटर करते हैं ऑफिस के अंदर और एक डिफरेंट माइंडसेट से उनको पूरा उनके फाइनेंसेस को समझ आता है कि इसको अप्रोच कैसे करना है. सो थैंक यू फॉर दैट, एंड I guess that's the reason we have been working together from last 3.5 years, and I guess ऐसे ही आप हमारे clients को सर्विस देते हैं. I guess that is highly.
It's a teamwork.
Yes.
I can't say I'm doing something extra for the client, right? It's a teamwork, and I believe this is my duty.
Absolutely.
This is the responsibility towards the client. We should be being ethical with them and suggest them that is in their favor. मैं बार-बार एक कोई point रख रहा कि we suggest or he suggests or his team always suggests the client whatever is in their favor.
Yeah.
And
That's why
अपना motive तो ऊपर
absolutely
client का motive रखना
That's why we feel like always this comfortable environment when clients come with us at the S3 and Waris Bhai office, that we know that he'll get the great guidance what he needs to take that informative decision like when it comes to buying a home.